following announcement has been paid for by the Celtic World Order.
Welcome back to Celtic World Order. I'm Josh McCafferty here. Standing in today, Steve-O is away in New York on his holidays. So this is just going to be a wee short 10-15 minute chat just about everything that's going on in the world of Celtic at the moment. There's not been much, in fairness, actually. The transfer window's been open just under a month. It opened June the 14th. I'm sitting here recording this on Friday, July the 12th. And there's no new signings yet, only 2 confirmed departures of Sead Haksabanovic and Rocco Vata at this moment in time. But in the past 24, 48 hours, there has been a bit of news that's come out regarding both outgoings and incomings. So let's just kick it off. We're going to start with Matt O'Reilly. Obviously sensational last season for Celtic. It was absolutely brilliant. Player of the year, young player of the year, players player of the year, wasn't it? Clean sweep. Now, there's been a fair amount of interest in him this summer. Teams like Southampton, Leicester, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, all kind of named as potential destinations for him. The next one is Atalanta. This came out last night that they'd made a cheeky £15 million bid for him. Celtic put it out and have supposedly refused to negotiate with Atalanta. On that one, they won the Europa League last year, a solid top 6 Serie A side who've got a good reputation in developing young players. I think that'd be a good destination for Matt if he was to go to Atalanta, but at 15 million, there's absolutely no chance they're going to do business with that. With that one, O'Reilly, I think he would like to go there, given obviously the club his reputation and things like that, but I don't think that's going to be a go at that price. Celtic will want a record sale. The record sale is obviously Jota, Kieran Tierney in that £25 million mark. So we'll just have to wait and see. O'Reilly this summer, he obviously played in the Queen's Park friendly the other night, scored in it, was all smiles. He was wearing the captain's armband. So I think it's just going to be one that rambles on throughout the summer. And if Celtic's asking price is met, then I think potentially he could go. But it just depends on whether that is met or not by a certain club. Now, another midfielder who had some interest in him is Rio Hatate. Now, Celtic supposedly had a proposal from him put forward from a Russian side, but they booted it out straight away, and the Russian side didn't even get to make a bid before Celtic booted them out and told them where to go. So that's a non-starter. I think the club are reluctant as well to do business with teams in Russia, just given the situation there with the war with Ukraine and things like that. So I think Rio Hatate, Celtic want him to stay for another year to play and perform, and maybe he's the big sale next summer, like O'Reilly is likely going to be this summer. On departures as well, 2 guys who, well, one's already confirmed to be out the door in Rocco Vata and Daniel Kelly, but we're just going to start with Vata. Obviously, he moved to Watford. That was confirmed last Friday. He was offered a new contract. That was widely reported at the time. He was offered a new Celtic deal because obviously expired this summer. And Brendan Rodgers made some quite interesting comments in the press about Vata and about the details of that offer of a contract he was made. I've just got it here. I'm going to read it out. Rocco was offered the contract and he was going to be one of the 3 strikers at Celtic, and he decided that that wasn't going to be for him, so he then leaves. That is absolutely fine, and we wish him all the very best. Now, Rodgers obviously putting a lot of faith in Vata here by offering him a spot as one of the 3 main strikers at Celtic for the new season. Now, whether it be for wages or whether he wasn't happy with that opportunity, it remains to be seen, but he has made the switch to Watford. Now, it's good that the managers came out and cleared up that situation, and we don't necessarily know the reasons behind why he's chosen to go to Watford. We can assume what they are, but we know that the faith was there from the manager in him, and it wasn't down to a lack of opportunity because he was going to be a member of the first team squad. Now, on Daniel Kelly, his contract expires in December 31st of this year. So he's got 6 months on it now and he's free to negotiate with clubs. But a pre-contract, they could sign him on a free. He's been offered a new deal, it looks like, going by Rodgers' comments, but nothing has happened yet. And that's why we've not seen him in pre-season. So you look at the 2 friendlies so far against Dundee United and Queen's Park, he's not been in the squad and he's not played a minute. Now, Rodgers' comments put some sense to that and show why. So he's said that Daniel Kelly has been offered a new contract, and he says this: "There's no impasse. Daniel has been offered a new deal, which is valued. I have worked with young players and I know the levels of young players and where they are at from a technical perspective and a financial perspective. I feel that for him and the family, this is a great place. You've got a manager who sees a talent there, who sees the physicality he has, and areas he needs to brush up. What a great club and place this is for him to be able to do that. If that's not enough, then that is okay. He's obviously yet to commit to Celtic for the new season, and that is why he's not in the pre-season plan. Rodgers has openly said that because that contract has not been agreed, he is not in the plan. So he said Daniel has been offered a really good contract, a contract that would see him come into the first team squad and play and perform and develop. I spoke with the agents and players some months back to see if we can tidy this up by summer, and if we can't, then it's very hard to be with the team in pre-season. Obviously, he's not here. So there you go. There's been noted interest in him from teams like Bayer Leverkusen, the German double-winning champions. So he could be one who's on the chop. He's on the chop block. Whether he's going to leave this summer or whether he's just going to leave for free when his contract runs out in December remains to be seen. But it's disappointing because Rodgers really rated Kelly, gave him a lot of opportunities in the team last season. Obviously, scored, had a lot of physical attributes as well, quite physically adept for his age. So disappointing to see him not look like he's going to have a long-term Celtic future. But at the end of the day, the club are going to have to move on and get new signings because that's what the fans are crying out for. No new signings as of yet. But the manager made some interesting comments on that. He said it's natural to ask that question because we're a club that needs to improve the squad. I mentioned before about getting at least a couple in before we go to America. That's still the idea. So those comments came out last night. Celtic's first pre-season friendly in America is a week tomorrow as I'm recording this, so it's Saturday. The 20th of July against DC United, the Celtic's first game over in the States. When they travel out there, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe some point midweek next week. But whenever they do that, Rodgers wants a couple of signings in before then. No mentions in the press of who it might be, what's happening with Ida, what's happening with Bernardo. That will frustrate supporters, and absolutely understandably so. But I think it's just going to be one we're going to have to run with. And see what happens. But reports are coming out now as I'm recording about Oh Hyun-kyu. He played in the Queen's Park friendly, scored in it. Actually, it's been impressive in pre-season in fairness to Oh, but Belgian journalists coming out and saying that his move to Genk is only a matter of time before it is confirmed. Now, for me, this is quite interesting because I feel that Oh, if he's going to depart, Celtic are going to bring someone in, and I think if they're letting him depart, they are quite far down the line with bringing another striker in, because Rodgers' comments in Vata say that he wants 3 strikers for the new season. Now, if he lets O go, that's only down to 1 striker in Kyogo. So surely they're not that incompetent that they're going to let O go and not have someone lined up, and Kyogo is going to be the only striker for the next going into at least going to America and perhaps Flag Day. So surely they're far down the line with someone like whether it be Ida, Kvistgarden, strikers that have been linked. I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully that is the case, and hopefully they are preparing for that. But looks like he is on the way to Genk in Belgium. I think that's a good opportunity for him. He's always shown in flashes what he can do. His goals per minute ratio is very good in a Celtic jersey, but Rodgers didn't seem to rate him. That's why Ida was brought in and he made the impact he did. And perhaps that is far down the line, not sure. Yet reports about 9 days ago saying it was, but we've heard nothing. It's been radio silent since then. So remains to be seen what's happening there. Just other pieces of news, wee bits that are floating about here and there. Obviously, the game against Queen's Park, 6-4 win for Celtic the other night. So a young boy that scored in that, Hatton, Francis Turley, 18-year-old, scored Celtic's 6 of the night with a really good finish from 12 yards out. He today, last night it came out, he was called up for Northern Ireland for the Under-19 European Championships, which actually take place next week in Northern Ireland. So his side is hosting that. They take on Ukraine, Italy, and I believe it is Turkey. It might be Ukraine. It's definitely Ukraine and Italy that they're playing. It is Ukraine, Italy, and Norway. In their group. Their games are Monday, Thursday, and Sunday of next week. So hopefully, young Turley can go in there and show what he can do in the international stage. Gallagher, Lennon, Neil Lennon's son, is also in the team as well. But Celtic had the pre-season friendly with Queen's Park and Burnley. This is quite an interesting one because Burnley posted their pre-season schedule just this afternoon, and there was a mention in their statement of a behind closed doors friendly with Celtic. Now, there's nothing at Burnley's training centre. There's nothing on that from Celtic. So the team's first friendly in the USA, like I said, is on the 20th. So I'm assuming that behind closed doors game with Burnley would be this weekend, maybe the beginning of next week, and then the team fly out to the USA. So that's one to keep an eye on, whatever we see with that and what happens. But yeah, that's really it in the world of Celtic at the minute. It's not the liveliest in terms of news, but that's just the way it rolls sometimes. I think over the next couple of weeks when the team go out to the USA and Flag Day looms, then we'll get a lot of talk of potential incomings and stuff. But it's just waiting for that. It feels like once a switch is flicked, then it's going to start to be bombarded with things in news and reports of potential incomings. But as of now, it's still pretty quiet. Fans are beginning to get frustrated by that, and understandably so. Leave in the comments section below what you think about that, whether it's good, whether it's bad. Do you think the club are waiting too long, or are we, the fans, being taken for mugs? What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. But for today, that's it. I've been Josh McCafferty. You can follow us on our social media platforms. We're on X or Twitter, whatever you like to call it, at CWOpod1888. Wherever you're watching this, whether it's on YouTube or X, be sure to follow us on YouTube. If you're watching this, subscribe and turn that wee notification bell on so you never miss a video, or if we're going live, you don't miss it and you're there to see his box office. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Josh McCafferty. Whoever it may be, Steve O'Paddy, will be back in front of your screens next week because I'm away to Tenerife. So hopefully by the time I return, Celtic have signed some players. Once again, thank you for watching.